Alright, what's up guys? This is Voracious Gamer. I just wanted to do a quick video here, an overview of my first haul of Bushido. I picked up the Tengu Dissension faction, and I've just started kind of learning about the models, and I just wanted to go through my initial impressions as I open up some of the bits here. My recording scenario is less than optimal. I'm still trying to get that figured out, so bear with me here. Hopefully there's still some good knowledge and some decent quality that can come out of this. So I got 3 card packs. The first of which is a generic, I suppose I should hold it this way, a generic card pack. My game store owner ordered it for me when I brought up that I needed Bushido. I think he may have already knew some of the rules for the game. But it contains 14 special cards for use with the Bushido rule set. These are like event and terrain cards. The way the game works, we have an awesome quick reference chart here with the proper modifiers from the errata, so that's sweet. But as I was saying, the way the game works is that there are events and enhancements and terrain cards, and you can buy those when hiring your crew for the rice cost down in the bottom right corner. So for example, we'll just read one here. This is Jin's Ring. It's an enhancement. When attached to a model, that model may discard this card to gain Last Stand until the end phase, which is the last phase of an activation of Bushido. I don't know what Last Stand does. I'm still so new that I haven't really delved into traits yet. There's a lot of them, but I'm sure that they'll start to stick, and I'll start to be able to get that figured out. But there's certain traits as well for each enhancement, like you can see stackable, exclusion, soulless. I don't know exclusion, but stackable means that it doesn't count towards the normal restriction on enhancements when you give it to a model. Some of the interesting cards that I'm excited to delve into here are the terrain type cards, where you actually place a card, you actually place a terrain piece, a terrain element, and that's something I haven't seen in the game, where you're actually paying rice to bring certain terrain pieces. I can't say how that's going to weigh in yet, as I haven't really gotten a game in, but it's very interesting. I'm excited to check that out. The next deck of cards we have here is the Special Attack and Defense with a C cards pack. I'm assuming it's Defense with a C in Britain, across the pond, right? So this pack contains 14 special attacks and defense cards, as well as a handy wound chart. So the way the game works is when you're doing an opposed test, you have a success level that basically comes out of that, and that determines your column choice here. Then you're going to roll 2d6 to get a number between 2 and 12, and you find where that crosses over, and that's the number of wounds that you do. That can be modified by weapons, and sometimes halved if you don't have any weapons, if you're just trying to punch at somebody. But let's see what this card contains here. Got cool card backing, awesome artwork and theme. The whole product it's just really great. I guess the cards themselves are a little bendy. I'm only used to a few other systems, but it's not bad at all. We've got another melee and ranged attack modifier card. I don't know if maybe we had one of those included, one of those wounds and success cards included in the first deck, which was our general upgrades and enhancement deck. Nope, it doesn't look like it. But inside this special attack and defense card deck, we can find all of the various cards that models can play. Different weapons and attacks on models in Bushido can reference and use different defenses and attacks. And this is specified on their card, I guess. I don't know if maybe that was confusing. Let's say you had a model who had a katana attack, and on it said push attack 1. Basically, when you're going to make a melee attack, you can take one of the dice that you would normally allocate to attacks and spend it on push attack to move the defender, as the card says. It's cool. Some of these cards and abilities that have both a offensive and a defensive ability are on the same card, so that's definitely sweet. I'm not certain how prevalent these kinds of special abilities really are in the game and how many models have them, as I haven't really gotten into looking at the stats and things like that yet. But the bluff card, I noticed upon opening this deck, is definitely very interesting. No special attack or defense attempted, so that I'm assuming when you're playing and you go to remove those dice from your pool, like I was mentioning, to activate these powers, you could do that in secret and play this card out so that your opponent thinks that perhaps you're going to try and do one of the abilities on their card, like throw attack, which definitely adds a poker type element that I'm really interested in how that bluff works. I didn't see that in the rules when I read through them previously. Next, let's just take a look at the rule book itself here. Oh, the first deck I opened did indeed have a wound and damage roll chart. It was just on the description card. Almost tossed that away. So the rule book itself here. Let me see if I can get that in the screen. It is gorgeous, just gorgeous art. I'm digging it a lot. It's solid, 126 pages. A sweet counter page here in the back for all your counter needs. I'm going to get that printed out on some cardstock and cut it out so we can have our, I think these are the chi points, and then tired, exhausted, poison, fire, I guess immobilized, fear, I don't know this one, but, ammo, reload markers, everything you need. And then another cheat sheet that has, I think, just essentially everything that came on our cards. But just to flip through the book itself here, I've only just read the rules portion of it. I haven't delved into the fluff and all that jazz. But there's a good amount of fluff in the beginning here, talking about the different clans and the world that they are in, and then details on the playable factions themselves. There's a few factions here that don't have active models yet. The one that I'm particularly interested in is this Minamoto, some kind of stoic mountain-like clan, and the Tengu, the bird people that I've picked up, are also from the mountains, so that'll be sweet. To have both mountainy people give me some time to learn how to sculpt snow or some kind of ice. We got pictures of the models here, really sweet artwork. Just everything is really nice. The theme of it all is pulled together great. Full color on all these pages. Can't wait to read some of this background. We get into the rules here. They're just about 20 or so pages, and they are basically a colored version of the downloadable rules, so you really get the whole game there for free as far as the rules. The thing that you're missing out on is the fluff. After that, we've got a little bit of scenarios. The 6 scenarios in the book are the scenarios that are 6 of the 12 scenarios available in the tournament pack. So I think I'll just be playing on a D12 and playing from the tournament pack and kind of ignoring these. They seem to be the same though. And then the last little section of the book is an extra section with a tutorial on making bamboo. So that's sweet. I'm definitely going to attempt that. And then we have some play style articles, just really brief kind of articles on the factions play style, which I think is kind of cool. A lot of these games, tell you how to play, and they don't really tell you how to play or what's going on and things like that. So I highly recommend picking up the book itself if you're going to play. Give them the credit for building this beautiful work of art, and give yourself the ability to read some of the fluff and get more in depth with the game, and really have that physical copy. There's something about that is unique and special. Next, I'd just like to go over the Tengu specific models, I suppose, that we picked up. I grabbed 2 models, as I didn't really know what to get yet. I just grabbed some random things, one interesting thing, and one that I saw that just had a cheap rice cost, because more models are probably fine. Sanja Kubo is the first one, and he's a kind of dark wizard-looking guy. As far as I know, he's got some stuns, and he's a pretty interesting character. We'll get that opened up here in a second. And Hill Tribe Warrior is the cheap one that I got. He seems like he's just their, I guess, a tribesman or like a militia of sorts. I don't know for sure. Also, I got the faction dice. It comes with 5 of each color of dice. You can use one for your attacks and one for your defense. So that's definitely sweet, and I recommend going with that, man. It really adds to the theme and keeps with things. Keeps things with the game, and sometimes faction dice isn't really worth it, but I decided to treat myself, I suppose, and grab these. Hopefully it's all I need. I don't really want to have to buy another pack, but we'll see about that. Let's open them up and check it out. So just blister opens right up. The only thing we've got in the pack itself is a little paper thin deal with the awesome Tengu dissension symbol. I don't know what the meaning of that is, but it's Tengu and it's bird people. I'll find out more as I read the fluff, right? In the next video. So here's our sweet dice, yellow and black themed, with the Tengu Dissension logo on the 6 side. They are really detailed and nice. I mean, they're bigger than I think most of the D6 I have. Probably that like large size chess X. I don't know dice size, but let's give these a roll and see what kind of game it's gonna be. Are we just gonna have luck forever or what? Hey, all right. I mean, we got a 1, a 2, 2 3s, 3 4s, 2 5s, and a 6. That seems about right for rolling 10 dice. That's pretty average, I'd say. I guess we're not going to have any extreme bouts of luck or lack thereof. So yeah, sweet Tengu themed dice. I saw that the Jung Pirates, another faction, have... Oh, so there's only 9 now, and 1 has hit the floor, but I'll locate that later. I saw that the Jung Pirates have pink and black dice. That's pretty sweet, so I definitely think do yourself a favor and get the dice with the game, and really go into it and build it with folks. I dig that a lot. So the third pack of cards here is the Tengu Dissension card pack 1, assuming more card packs will come, future waves and expansions and such. The description on the back here is that it contains cards for the New Dawn rule set. It's just going to be enhancement, events, and terrain cards like the first deck we went through, like the general deck, but this one applies only to the Tengu. So we'll start here. We've got our wound chart again with our success level. When you have an opposed test with somebody during a melee exchange or a ranged action, there's a success level as a result of that, and that's your column. Then you roll 2d6 to figure out your damage roll, final result, and then you apply this many wounds, and then stuff happens, right? Then you win. Let's take a look at this deck together here. What do we have? It's in an odd facing order with a bunch of different looking cards, so I don't know what we've got. Another melee and range attack modifier card. Boring stuff, but helpful and useful as hell. Let's flip these over and check out what we got. 2 unique effects cards. When this model's... Oh, interesting. They are actually... I was looking at the wrong side of them. They're actually kami cards. So there are kami for one of the factions. I don't know which one. I think the Temple of Rokan, perhaps. But these seem to be kami specific cards for the Tengu. So earth and wind kami cards. Excited to take a look at those and see how they affect gameplay here. That'll be awesome. I was wondering about that, if other models could use it. And then the other card we have here is it looks like it's an alternate card. The Tengu have access to a model that normally fights for, I think, the Temple of Rokan again, the green colored faction, but he normally fights for them, and the model, comes under their line. But then it looks like we have a replacement card to, give him an alternate stat line and put him into the Tengu deck. So that's sweet. We'll definitely go over that and take that into consideration with our list building and all that jazz. So then we've got our basically our enhancements and our upgrades, if you will. As well as a themed card. So we have Wind Watcher's theme. Looks like it adds some faction specific rules and also some restrictions on crew creation. So that'll be really sweet to take into account. I didn't quite know that we had that. There's the Shepherds of the White Mesa. Looks like the Tengu's other theme. I dig that a lot. It looks like the main difference between these two themes is that the Shepherds of the White Mesa can only use 30mm bases, so the small bases. So they'll just be mostly your tribesmen or your little birds, and then the other one might just be the larger. If you know the Tengu gallery, the Tengu models themselves are these giant bird guys. So then we've got events, enhancements, and terrain. Let's just go through an example, one of the terrain cards here. Fujin's Idol. During the starting phase, you can choose a friendly model in base to base, and it gains +1 move and light-footed until the end of the phase. So we make it fast and give it... Oh, I'm sorry about just having my hand in the video the whole time. We probably won't redo this, but, live with it. The next video will be better. Sorry. You get +1 move and light-footed, and I don't know what light-footed does, but, we'll find out and go through these cards probably via blog post. I'd imagine it'd be a pretty lengthy, boring video discussion. I don't know what the proper format would be for that kind of listy talk. But, these cards have a rice cost value that you take into account when building your crew. Some of them have X, so I'm assuming you can give it to multiple folks. So that's kind of neat. Or maybe it has a variable cost. I believe then with variable costs, you resort to like the model's cost. But that'll be sweet. We'll look into that when we start building crews. Crews, I think I saw that they vary from 35 rice to 50 rice. I think it was 35 and I think 42, a really weird number. 35, 42, and 50 rice. I'm sure I'll just go for 50. I like that. That sounds right. Oh, so let's without further ado, let's open a blister. Let's check out these models. I'm gonna save the bird guy for last because he's the bird guy. He's why I got the whole faction. It's awesome. We'll save it for the final hurrah. So kind of following with most things these days, or newer things, the card is actually the backing or the bit advertising on the deck, so that's kind of cool, or on the blister. We got our Hill Tribe Warrior. These cards are available online free. If you go to each model, it's a little bit troublesome. You have to download them and save them, and print them out. It's a really solid card. I'd say about as solid as the general decks. You can tell that there's a reflective surface or a different finishing on the front, I'm assuming, so we can do some dry erase, what have you, if needed. I would definitely recommend just getting sleeves so you can openly write on this beast and keep it in tip-top shape, especially because for those of us not in easy access of Bushido, it takes a little while to get these things. So we got another sweet little faction deal, just advertise, Tengu goodness. And inside our blister, we've got our plastic packaging here. It's really great. We're going to take a closer look at the plastic and try to figure out the chemical composition of it. But we'll do that later. We got our 32mm round lip base. Our regular deal. I like to read the bottom sometimes. Just wonder, D&G 2012, did they send these bases to Bushido in 2012, or does someone just make bases and then different companies get them? There's a lot of questions in the basing industry, but more interesting bits, right? The real things. So it looks like we got a 4-part model. Hopefully we can see enough here. The main piece of it looks really detailed. There's nice open areas between the detail, promising some good space for highlighting and shading options. He's kind of got a fur cloak, and he's supposed to be wearing, I think, some like leathers and things like that. Let's see what bit we have here. I can't make it out. I think we just got a piece of an arm. Yep. We got the other piece of his robe comes off here. I mean, it doesn't come off. It needs to go on after some trimming and washing, of course. We can go over proper modeling in another video. But other than that, his head is a separate piece. We can try and get some focused in on that. He's got a pretty good expression there. If you can look past my fingernails next time. I can't really make it out. Oh well. And then a single piece here is the axe that he's holding. It's a two-handed axe. It's a little bit bent, but I tend to, if I get pieces bent in a blister, I don't touch them at all until it's time to model and I see where they're at, because when you start moving these around, eventually it's just going to give up on you. It doesn't matter how nice you are and how gentle, you're going to end up snapping it off. And, with spears and things like this, they're easy to replace with a pin or, something like that. But you want to avoid that. So if you get bent pieces, don't change them until it's time. As far as mold lines on this guy, I think it looks really good. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I'll be trimming off stuff even if I think I see one, because I hate to find it after I've put primer on the model. It's just a pet peeve, I suppose. But it really looks good. I don't see any distinct mold lines. It's hard to see them. I can tell where they are or where they've been. Maybe where the mold was split right here down the middle, but the line is pretty much smooth. It's not bulky at all, which is, it's cool. I mean, you can see a little bit of line right here on this robe, but I mean, that's nothing, man. That's inside the robe. So I mean, I think it's a great looking model. I'm satisfied with the quality and the detail for sure. Let's get the Sanjakubo opened up here and check out these bird models. Keep adding to my makeshift Bushido backdrop as we go. But Sanjakubo, he's a Tengu Shujinja. That's the type. I believe the Hill Tribe guy is a tribesman. Go figure. But let's open this beast up and see what we got. Same card, way more text. This dude's more of a wizard guy. I think he's got some stuns, and let's see what else. I think he can give somebody the ability to make an attack without line of sight, and yeah, I mean, he'll be interesting. We'll see. We can get into that stuff a lot more. That's not an interesting video. Same card. Amazing plastic. Looks like we got just a few pieces still. I was expecting maybe some more pieces, but so again, we got our 30mm, 32mm round lip plastic base. Just because I started a thing, we're gonna read it. It's DMG 2012, same as the other base. Don't know what that means, but I've been wondering it for a good while. So again, it's just 4 pieces. That's sweet. Let's start with the wings. The main draw of the Tengu, I'm excited about them for all being birds. I haven't painted a lot of birds, and I think painting these feathers and spending some time learning to highlight and shade feather is going to be really sweet. There's some awesome like eagle-like bird patterns that go from a light color to like a dark brown, and really vary it, and it'll provide some cool opportunities to do that. Like this guy's, I think he's more of a vulture theme, or I don't know if they're different birds, but I mean, who knows, right? Maybe there's a parrot. I don't think so. They're in the snowy expanse. But wings, And we got a scroll here that looks like it might be bent, but remember the Voracious Gamer way there on bent pieces. Don't bend that shit at all. Just wait. Oops, I said shit. I don't know if that's allowed on YouTube. All right, but it's got hands attached to it at the with the wrist pieces off. Little knobs on the wrists. No discernible mold line on the wings or the scroll. And now let's look at the main piece itself here. Sanjakubo, the caster, if you will. He's got a hood covering his face with kind of like a crow-like beak coming up. It's really difficult to make out with the light on the camera that I have, but it's a sick model. There's some detail on his waist. Open cloaks here, going to provide some awesome shadowing in the arms, and nice obvious spots where the wrists should connect. Now the real question is he reading something, or is he showing somebody something, right? Is he showing you something on the back, or is he checking it out? We'll figure that out later. But the back of the model's sweet too. I mean, anyone that just paints, and I mean, robes are sweet, right? You'd love to paint those highlights and shadows, and this one has a lot of built-in detail, grooves and such, for that to just come out, I think, in a gorgeous way. I'm really excited to put these models together, and happy to have taken the step here and to get into Bushido, and I hope you guys take the plunge with me and get some ninjas, and let's get this game going. If you want to follow me, my Twitter is @VorGames, and my WordPress blog is something along the lines of Voracious Gamer. I'm not certain what it is yet, but I'll post it up in the comments. Let me know if you have any questions or opinions and advice, all that jazz. I'll see you guys next time. Adios.